Jon Gruden is out as the Las Vegas Raiders head coach, but it was after a few days of controversy. I'm going to talk about what Jon Gruden and Dave Chappelle's latest special, The Closer, actually have in common right after the bumper. What's going on, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget, don't meet me there, beat me there at the All Black National Convention down in Orlando, Florida. October 29th through November 1st, we'll be there. Everything's all set. I can't wait to see you. Now, I'm here today to talk about Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden, as you know, if you've been living under a rock or just don't understand what's taking place, Jon Gruden has resigned as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. This comes after a few days of controversy and the latest form of emails, right? So let me give you a little backstory. So Jon Gruden was working at ESPN back in 2011, right? So from 2011 to 2018, he worked at ESPN and he was exchanging emails with at the time, the general manager of the Washington football team. His name was Bruce Allen. So Bruce Allen and the Washington football team, they had a lot of scandalous stuff going on there. The Washington football team has just been atrocious as far as leadership standpoint and ownership, as far as what took place in the work environment, right? They had a lot of women who were sexually harassed, a lot of women that worked for the team, as far as whether they worked in the front office or they were like cheerleaders or dancers. They were asked to perform sexual acts and do all kinds of sexual stuff. So they had a toxic culture. And then on top of that, they had the name that was Redskins, that was seemed racist and had been controversial for years, right? And they were just stood on not ever changing it until they finally were forced to changing it. So they're trying to clean up their reputation. But the NFL is investigating the Washington football team because of all the sick stuff that was happening there for years and years and years. And now they want to act like they give a crap, but his stuff took place for years. And so in the midst of looking over and reviewing what took place with the Washington football team and all the sick stuff that happened there, the NFL, or whoever works in the NFL, ran across a series of emails that took place over years, right? From 2011 to 2018, between Jon Gruden, who was the lead analyst for Monday Night Football for ESPN, and all the other stuff he did for ESPN with the quarterback stuff, Jon Gruden's quarterback camp and all that stuff. So between Jon Gruden and anybody that worked for Washington, right? So they found these emails because they were investigating Washington, the football team. And in these emails, the first string of emails that they found was Jon Gruden talking bad about DeMaurice Smith. Now, DeMaurice Smith is the leader of the players union for the NFL. He's the head of the NFLPA. And Jon Gruden said, he spelled his name wrong. He said, basically, dumbass, DeMaurice Smith has Michelin tire rubber lips, right? So talking about how big his lips are, basically said he looks like a character of Jay-Z's video, The Story of OJ, right? So he's basically said that. So that was pretty damn racist. That's pretty vulgar, okay, I can get the image of that. Wow, you're messed up, right? But that wasn't, that didn't really bother the NFL. That came out on Friday. And the Raiders had a game on Sunday, and the Raiders played their game on Sunday, and Jon Gruden kind of just brushed the questions aside, didn't really address it head on. I think he did a weak little apology, but didn't really mess with it. And everything, I'm not going to say everything was fine, but everything seemed to just go according to plan. But on Monday, more emails came out. Remember, they're investigating Washington, so they have all the emails from every employee that worked at Washington during that time, or anybody that sent anything to employees that worked for Washington during that time. And Jon Gruden sent some more emails. Once again, these emails spanned for 7 years. And he left the black people alone, but got on to being homophobic, because at least what it sounds like, homophobic, right? He talked about he didn't like the fact that there were women as referees in the NFL. He called Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, he called him an F word that rhymes with maggot. An F word that rhymes with maggot. I'm not trying to get demonetized. I'm not trying to kicked off social media. But it's an F word that rhymes with the word maggot. So he called Roger Goodell that. He talked about the Rams when they drafted Michael Sam, who was the first openly gay player to be drafted in the NFL. Talked about how he didn't like that. Then talked about, a bunch of other stuff. And that was the nail in the coffin. Once those emails got released, that's when Gruden had to put in his resignation letter. Because if it was just about DeMaurice Smith, I believe Jon Gruden would still be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. That is a fact in my mind. I have no way to prove it, obviously, but that would have been a fact in my mind because of the way they played it off. The way they were able to continue to navigate as if nothing happened after Friday, as if when the game played, he had black players in his team, on his team, and he said those words, and everything was all good until Monday's round of emails came out, and he was using what we call homophobic language, misogynistic language, whatever, you know what I mean? Like all of these type of phobics and anistics and all of these things, these istics. See, just racist isn't good enough, right? Like racist doesn't move the lever anymore like he used to, right? We've heard white players that play in the NFL say the N-word and continue to go cash a paycheck, right? Like all of that still takes place. But when you're homophobic or transphobic or misogynistic, these words like that, that's when you get into some trouble. So remember at the beginning I said Jon Gruden's firing has a lot to do with Dave Chappelle talked about in his comedy special, The Closer, that is airing right now on Netflix, that a lot of the trans community and the LGBT community and a lot of different people are trying to get pulled off Netflix, but Netflix today actually came out and said, hey, we're standing with Dave. This is where they coincide, they collide, right? Dave talked about in his special how the baby shot and killed a black man. Shot and killed a black man. Like, this is not fiction. This is not hearsay. This is not reports or rumors. No, this is a fact. This is a fact. In 2018, the baby actually shot and killed a black man. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to preference it by saying it was self-defense. It was deemed self-defense. But nonetheless, there was a man that was dead in Walmart. In Walmart at the hands of the baby. And nothing ever happened to his career. A lot of you all didn't even know what ever happened. Right? A lot of you all didn't even know what ever happened. But as Dave Chappelle put it, as soon as he hurt a gay man's feelings, a gay person's feelings, then we had to cancel him. So why am I bringing this up? Well, the same thing with Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden said what he said about DeMaurice Smith, which was clearly racist, blatantly racist. Like not even like it's not even a way to even excuse that. Michelin tire lips. That's the oldest trope, one of the oldest tropes in the book when it comes to black people. Oh, you guys are super strong, super fast, and got big lips and big noses, and you like chicken and watermelon. These are some of the oldest tropes, going back to Jim Crow and super Sambo and super racist cartoons and figures and mammies and stuff like that. Like, these are some of the oldest tropes in the history of the book. So to say that you didn't think that was racist, that's not going to fly, John. But nothing would have ever happened. But as soon as he started becoming homophobic and misogynistic and transphobic and all these things, the narrative changed. Things changed. He had to get up out of town. He had to get up out of there. He had to bounce, shake, dip, get removed, resign. Dave Chappelle had a point. A hit dog will holler. Chappelle's comedy is so controversial and offended so many people because it had a lot of truth in it. Damn, it had a whole lot of truth in it. And we're literally watching it play out live with Jon Gruden. What, 2 weeks? Like, Chappelle's comedy's been out for what, 2 weeks? It took less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks to watch this play out in real time. To watch this play out in real freaking time. Dave Chappelle's comedy, The Closer, has been out for less than 2 weeks, and we're literally watching it on a national level right now, play out in real time. Jon Gruden, the head football coach of a billion-dollar organization, the Las Vegas Raiders, said all he said about DeMaurice Smith, nothing was going to happen. Absolutely nothing. I can almost guarantee it. There's no way of proving it, but I can almost guarantee it. Nothing was going to happen. DeMaurice Smith's a black man. Jon Gruden said something about Roger Goodell, who's the commissioner of the league, used an F word that rhymes with maggot and became misogynistic and homophobic. Jon Gruden no longer has a job. Black people, I'm not telling you to just use your eyes and use your brain and kind of think, but the proof's in the pudding. It's just very, very interesting to watch how this all has played out less than 2 weeks from the release of Dave Chappelle's comedy, The Closer. We literally watched this play out in real life. Chappelle wasn't getting backlash because what he said was hateful, or because what he said was ignorant, or because what he said was stupid, or because what he said didn't make any sense. Chappelle got backlash, and Chappelle got hate and people being mad and angry because the hit dog will holler because it made too much damn sense, because it was genius, because it was brilliant, because it was amazing. And literally less than 2 weeks away from the day Netflix released it, we're watching it play out in real life. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Does Jon Gruden's situation with the Las Vegas Raiders in the NFL not remind you of what Dave Chappelle talked about in his comedy, The Closer? Reminds me a lot of what Dave Chappelle had to say. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. You can follow me on Instagram at JLightsy7. I post content on there all the time. And for those of you on Facebook, it's Jeff Lightsy Sports on Facebook. For those of you on Facebook, it is Jeff Lightsy Sports. Thank you guys for tuning in. And don't forget, the All Black National Convention is October 29th through November 1st down at the Omni in Orlando, Florida. I hope to see you all there. Hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe on your way out. I'll see you next time. Peace.